Say she want the farmer man. Yeah, man, I thought it's a representative. Me, I said check me up on the overall settings. This.
Yeah, you know it's your boy Jack Can, straight out of Canada, and overall setting.
Yo, this is the girl Joey Brooks, and I'll be on Overall Settings podcast.
I represent for Overall Podcast. You know, Overall Settings Podcast. See?
Actually, the queen get the president. I know I represent for Overall Settings that develop the resident.
I will be on Overall Settings.
On the Overall Settings podcast.
People, you know it's the Overall Settings podcast.
Overall Settings give thanks every day.
Overall Settings. Overall Settings Podcast.
I will be live on Overall Settings.
Overall Settings.
Pow, 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 way ho. Pow, 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 pow. Not because you're over there and I'm here, I'm with you. My heart, my soul, my love lies, you burn deep within, and my heart is with you, and my soul is with you, and the love we have goes on and on, yeah.
Damon, Bware, Vanzant comes this gripping new reality TV series, Carib Life ATL.
We have the greatest show in the world for you today. The greatest show.
To the world, Atlanta is recognized for its rich civil rights legacy and renowned TV, film, and music industries. But what many don't know is that beneath its historical and entertainment landscape lies a massive Caribbean community with representation from every island and country within the Caribbean diaspora. With the epic Atlanta Caribbean Carnival, a primary parade, and a festive event amongst Caribbean communities as the backdrop, we invite you to follow the journey of 7 of ATL's most prominent Caribbean American influencers. There is the bottle service boss, Lady Chinks.
Hey guys, it's your girl Colleen. You guys know me as Chinks. I run a bartender bottle service business.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, so you can't give them the money Friday? Oh my God, that's hard to take more to know it's the money.
Y'all know I'm that goofy.
Hot Throbs, twins Alex and Brandon from Atlanta's #1 soca sound system, Unique Sounds.
Welcome to Atlanta Carnival 2019.
Give me facts! Yo! That's the shit that you check out, fucking camera!
Promoter, producer, DJ, and businessman, Marlon Revel.
This is Marlon Revel, and you're in tune to Carib Life ATL. Because we come from very humble beginnings, we learn to appreciate everything that's here in the States. You know, and as a result, we try to make use of every opportunity that come our way. And we come here when I come here for waste time.
Revolution sound in the baddest sound in Atlanta.
The official Atlanta Caribbean Carnival president, Patricia Henry.
I have a very strong personality. I don't like to work for folks, and I tell it like it is. I'm a fighter, and I go above and beyond for our culture. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get ready to go to the park for the vendors meeting. Love your black ass.
Online radio host and aspiring soca and dancehall artist, Vixen Annie Love.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Good afternoon, Atlanta Carnival. What you doing?
What's up, y'all? My name is Annie Love, and I am from the beautiful island of St. Lucia. I sing soca, I sing dancehall. I like to whine, I like to twerk. People know me for my song, Lick in the Middle.
And broadcast radio personality, community activist, and voice of reason, Red Carpet Shelly.
So my name is Shelly, aka Red Carpet Shelly. I'm originally from St. Thomas, United States of Virgin Islands. It's America's paradise.
Watch as they grapple with a community once united become divided right before their very eyes. What's at stake? A slice of Carnival's enormous revenue pie.
It was a huge success last year, generated about $12 million for our economy. $12 million for our economy.
These are not the only Caribbean personalities we will introduce you to this season. Trust us. There are other movers and shakers. That's an Atlanta Caribbean Carnival mix.
Tonight is a big
band launch for Good Vibes Mass. It's the first year in Atlanta right now. So we're trying to come out proper.
Even though we're here in the United States, we're representing Haiti internationally in the sport of swimming.
Sky, we are free, we not look back.
Or something else. And you're tuning into Carib Life ATL. Well, I'm something like the TV show.
But community challenges aren't all that lies ahead during this riveting first season of Carib Life ATL.
So at this point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to shut down the amplified music, we're going to shut down the vending.
As each person must also tackle their own sometimes even greater obstacles. Just as they reach highs in their lives, there are jaw-dropping lows.
I put into meet with her. And it's like she just keeps sending me down to everybody.
There is defeat.
You know, something that was unfortunate, like we have to take responsibility for some of that too.
There is deception. There is violence. And for some, even legal status in the country comes to play.
To miss play at a booking in Jamaica and all type of stuff just because our passport is expired.
As Carnival culminates, communities implode.
I don't care who it was or who was in charge. I'm cussing somebody out.
Alliances are forged while friendships are destroyed.
When Marlon made the political statement on social media already, people already said they not letting that fuck up their vibes.
Can things be repaired? Will things get better for the community? Will the cast members find success?
Know the real people around you that's really not gonna tell you no foolishness.
Watch the all-new Carib Life ATL reality series this spring to find out life in ATL is just starting to heat up.
Yes. You don't know the ships. Well, go on for that. Hey, no bother with it, you know. Trust me, I not hear myself. You hear me? I not hear myself. I not hear myself, brother. I don't know where to go on. You hear me? You hear me out there? All right, here we are going. Something happened. No, you do something for yourself. No, something plug out, brother. Something plug out. Sort it out. And we're going to come in and hear myself. No, hear myself. I'm still not hear myself in the way you look at it. No, I'm not hearing myself. Everything plug in? Nope. Turn it up. No, I need to hear myself, brother. I need to hear myself. Me G. That's how we go on, you know. Don't worry yourself. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Revolution, Mr. Damon, Vanzant is here. What go on, my general? What a go on? How you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm feeling blessed. Blessed. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yo, it's a pleasure to have you here. You're the first we'd have a producer, we'd have Big Bad Just No Cohen, but you know that was a different side of the production game. You know, master. But it's the first that we'd have the pleasure of having an executive producer on the live. We'd have a sound man, we'd have Boom Boom, the Billboard selector. You know, master. But this man right here is the jack of all trades. You know, see. Yeah, man, and I see you throw up a studio the other day within the space of a day, brother. Within the space of a day. The man just like, it was like, yo, it was this big warehouse with like nothing in it. And him said, tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys. And when you look, brother, you see a whole village. You see bedroom, you see bathroom, you see, you know what I mean? So anyway, you know, without further ado, I'm Fico Settings. This is Overall Settings, as you know. This is my good friend, co-founder, Mickey Settings.
Salute.
Counselor Settings, just a strolling, kind of tardy and thing. You know what I say? But, bro, there's a lot of people on this live who probably don't even know who you are. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like me say, whether them know you from the sound world, Revolution, Big Bad Sound. I had the pleasure of driving up to DC one time because I'm also a sound man, and I'm playing at a club where you guys had like this walk on, walk off thing wanna do. You know what I mean? Where everybody just come showcase them dubs. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
I think Ruben Vibes was there.
Ruben Vibes, Lion Vibes, yeah.
You know, see it. You guys were there. Couple other local sounds were there, and we drove up from Philly. There was a sound. We're going bad right now, and them kind of start from a tournament that we had. That was one of the sound with Outlaw.
Yes.
You know, see. So, you know, I hear that you and Outlaw kind of have a what you call it, like somebody similar background from growing up in the New York. I heard your career started within New York.
Yeah, I mean, I'm originally from New York. My family is from Belize, and then as we grow up, my mom's she remarried and she married a Jamaican man by the name of Adiemi, and I grew up and was born in Brooklyn, just with a very strong, Caribbean. I always leaned to the Caribbean side, but I grew up in a more American environment. So more time, if you see me, I look like more probably like the regular, cats out here. But then when you hear me talking, you see how I am, and you're like, hold up, this guy is a little different. So that just credit to my background, growing up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, with an all Jamaican family and all Belizean family, and with the
Biggie, and Jay-Z, not that too far from the Samasi project. So
Yo, rest in power, Biggie. Biggie was my brethren. Matter of
Wow.
fact, we came up together on Bedford and Quincy. I ain't gonna tell you how we came up, but we came up together over there.
right, right. So, like growing up in that melting pot, like I said, it's another New York man this pan alive, Father Council, I know.
Yeah, brother, blessed and love,
Bless it, you don't know.
Yeah,
man.
we used to live in a Brooklyn, at Bed-Stuy, Gates and Nostrand Avenue, lived there for about 12 years.
Whoa! So you must know my family then. You know my family if you live there for that long. Because my family is the Bandelli family. Right on Nostrand, in on Monroe and Nostrand and between Bedford by the cross from the YMCA.
Yeah, I know where you're talking. I know across from YMCA down there.
Yeah, man.
My sister them still live over there by Madison and Lewis.
Oh man, right around the corner. My project was the Jackie Robinson projects on Chauncey and Malcolm X.
Aye. So you know me at about it. You see me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, just before we get into the interview, into the history, into the sound, into the show, you know what I mean? I just want to give a couple of the people. If you're on the live right now, please share the live. Because right now we're among one of the icons of tomorrow, the next Tyler, the next, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? The man out to turn up the thing. And they say the apple never falls far from the tree. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now and let you guys know who you're talking to.
Wow.
This is my son.
Wow.
Forgive me for making you a repository for my anger. The anger I had toward my father, the anger I had towards myself. Just forgive me. And forgive me for any way that my anger constructed or impacted how you see women. Forgive me. Forgive me.
So for those of you who don't know, now you know.
Wow.
Bro, that moment, I mean, your mom is amazing. I mean, you know that already. You grew up with her, but, I mean, like, that was the only thing that was on in my house for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, we can't watch something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like never ever missed an episode. And growing up with someone of that stature, and I mean, because you were kind of, to be honest with you, your mom has like changed so many people's lives on the show, off the show. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of had like a confused look on your face, like, Mom, like, what are you talking about? Like you were perfect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. You would have to kind of like put me back in that moment, you know what I mean, just to give us some insight, like what it was like growing up with such a iconic figure like your mom,
Watching that video clip, and it almost jerked some tears from me. John, the people that see Bware with some eye water, you know, just thinking about like how everyone else, your mother is just your mom's. That's just mom. That's just mommy. That's just, to the world, she's Iyanla. But to me, she's just mom's. And it's always been that way from day one to today. I just never really saw her as a celebrity. We never feed into that part, as an icon, or that's not what we see. That's not what we see or how we feel about it. As you know, I'm from around the way, Brethren. I ghetto youth. And I always was raised and instilled with the principles that our life is for the service of our community. So, when you reach or when you're doing certain things in your life, how is what you're doing servicing your community? How is it making your community better? That's what people are going to remember about you when you're no longer here on the earth. That's my focus, making sure that those who come behind us and come with us, that they're in a better situation in their lives, being that service to our community. So to look at her as an icon or a celebrity, or I just never saw her that way. That's just my mom's. That's it. That's just Mom Dukes.
So that inspiration that you have to want to serve your community, was that instilled in you from early out by her, or was that something that you kind of like developed off of your own?
No, I mean, in the community in Bed-Stuy that we come from, very Afrocentric, very community driven. My Jamaican stepfather, we don't call him stepfather, my Baba. That's what it is, my Baba Adiemi. He instilled in us to be as service to community, and that's why you're here on earth, as a people who are in the conditions that we're in throughout the entire globe. It's like we don't have time to play, we don't have time to lay. Our life is to be of service to our community. It's yours, but what are you doing with it? And for me, as a ghetto youth that's been put in the highest levels in entertainment industry with the biggest names you can mention, it's like, okay, I don't brag and boast on that. You can never see me talking about, oh, Iyanla's my mother, or I know this person or know that person. Although I put the pictures up on Facebook, but you can see me in some local rum bar in New York or in DC or in Atlanta taking in some clash, because that's my roots, that's my foundation. I'm never going to leave my people. So anything that I'm doing has to be authentic to them, and it has to be at service to them. And that's just credit to my Baba and to my mother that put that into me from early. And now being in certain positions and situations and having certain access, now it's time for the world to understand who I am, versus that's Iyanla's son. That being a selector, that was just a step to take into where I am now, because it's being a selector that put me in contact with artists, people such as yourself, other individuals in the community and in the industry. Well, now it's like we all gonna build this relationship together and take this journey together. I had the honor of spending some time with Tyler Perry while he was opening up his studios, and definitely we went to the opening with my mother and Cicely Tyson, and just being there and listening to what this brother said and how he was feeling like, he could be at a yacht or at one of his mansions all over the world, but he wants to put his money into this to bring in his community to a higher level. and that's just where I am with it also. You know, with Carib Life Media, Carib Life Atlanta is just the starting point. You know, everywhere our people are on earth, we're going to go there and tell our stories.
So growing up in Brooklyn, and you know that I mean, obviously you didn't know that you were among the greats like Biggie, and I mean, who would go on to be, one of the greatest rappers of all time, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that sentiment as well. But like growing up, your early days in growing up in Brooklyn, just give us a little insight to how that was growing up. Did you have any siblings, and what was it like growing up in Brooklyn?
Well, I have two younger sisters that grew up in the house with me in Bed-Stuy, but they're from my mother. My sister Jamia, Arisa Sami, she passed away of colon cancer, which was probably like around 2007, I believe. Yeah, 2007. So then my sister Nisa, who's my youngest sister. So it was the three of us that kind of grew up in the house together. But then we had my father's other children, who he had five other children. So, I had family in Crown Heights, family in Brownsville, family in East New York. So even though I lived in Bed-Stuy, you can catch me on Lincoln between Rochester and Buffalo. You might catch me on in Brookline Projects on Glenwood Road, or you might catch me down in Park Slope. So my father lives right across the street from the Barclays Center. So it's like I'm a Brooklyn baby all around Brooklyn. So that's what my upbringing was like. So, it was the Brooklyn influence that made me who I am, of course, with the things my parents instilled in me. But just to give you an idea of the influence in my projects where I lived, Jackie Robinson. So if you go a couple of blocks down, maybe on Bainbridge in Decatur, that's where Chris Rock lived. If you go a couple of blocks across, if you go down to Lewis Avenue, that's where Big Daddy Kane comes from. If you come a couple of blocks across, that's where you'll see Stacey Morgan from. You go down to by Bedford and Fulton in that area. That's where Biggie was from. Wesley Snipes, Spike Lee, Larry Fishburne. I mean, I can go down the line of the personalities and the influences that are coming out of Brooklyn, out of that particular area of Bed-Stuy, and Jay-Z is from there. It was just how that neighborhood nurtured us.
So you were destined for greatness.
No, I wouldn't say greatness. You were destined to do what you was born to do. That's greatness. That's something of the ego. It's like everybody is great. Nobody's greater than anybody else. So I was just destined to do what I was supposed to do, and this is what it is. And it's like, and when you know that's what it is, when all of your life experiences culminate in one particular place, and you can see how those things and situations got you to where you are. Each one of us can tell our stories of how some of the things we experienced and how, can I curse on here or what?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Oh, God, you don't know. I want to be politically correct, right? But how we went through certain things and certain fuckeries, and, man, I deal with. I'm an ex-convict. I'm not afraid to tell you that. My mother wrote about it in all of her books. I spent 9 years in prison for doing street shit. So that's a part of my experience. I was living a life where I thought, damn, when I reach 18, I ain't gonna make it, because that's what they said on the media. When I reached 18, I was like, whoo, I made it. Then when I was 21, I made it because I was in prison. But just the relief that I felt, prison saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So spending 9 years in prison, that's when all of the teachings come in. That's when, Betty Shabazz, who was my mother's mentor, who's Malcolm X's widow, who this woman babysitted me, who, in Medgar Evers College, and everybody knows about Medgar Evers in Brooklyn, how, growing up working at the African Street Festival. Anybody from Brooklyn knows about the African Street Festival. I was in Boys and Girls High School forever. This is where I grew up at. So now all of these things are coming into play. There was a couple of old heads. I latched on to the teachings of Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And it was like, I'm moving forward. That stuff that I did, it was just a step in my life. Now I'm moving to another direction. I came out of prison. My mother's Iyanla. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. So now it was a blessing that I prepared myself when I was in there. So when I got out, I'm in position now. It's not like this is foreign to me or different, because you got to understand, when I was in prison, this woman, my mother, Iyanla Vanzant, the books and the tapes and the things that she was sending me, you can imagine what that was like. The prayers, the meditations. I'm a ghetto youth out of the streets of Brooklyn. I'm like, what kind of foolishness is she sending me? It's the white man that put me in prison. I didn't do this to myself. I was crying a victim, not realizing that I did put myself in prison. And just like I put myself in it, I can get myself out of prison of my mind. And I took that opportunity to do just that. So when I came home, I'm working with moms, and you know, she's exposing me to what she's exposing me to, the highest levels in Hollywood. And it's just like, all right, Bware, now it's time for you to take everything that you've been exposed to, everything that you've seen, everything that you've heard, you know, working on the set of Fix My Life. I started as a PA, a production assistant, worked my way up to be a producer. I didn't come in because Iyanla's my mother. I had to work. And as a result, I built some really, really good relationships. And these are the people that really supported me and filming Carib Life ATL.
So let's talk about Revolution a little bit.
All right.
Did that evolve? Did the concept of you building a sound start from New York, or did that happen when? Because I mean, I know you guys' name is synonymous with Washington. You know what I mean? I've always heard, you know, whenever I've heard Revolution, I've always heard Washington. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that you were originally from New York until, you know, I did my research, and you know, and I did a background check, and I'm like, okay, yeah. You know, but so the concept of building a sound,
it was just it was a default. And what I'm about to say by default, because Baba, he owned a venue on, him and his brethren, they had a venue on them time it was called Tompkins.
Okay.
And Halsey. It was called the when we went to school, we called it the East, right? But that big building there, the Armory that was there, right? There was, I mean, he hosted as a promoter. He had some of the biggest sound systems coming in. King IDs. Them time there you had what's the guy from Bronx, the veteran selector. I know, I skipped my mind right now. Screw. Tony Screw.
Tony Screw.
Yeah. He was bringing Roddy Gun from England.
Don't beat.
Don't beat, exactly. And them time the Ferga Digital did it go on Wicked?
Kitty,
Right.
Yeah.
So he's bringing all of these big sound system and big dances that was keeping in the Armory. At that time, I was a little kid. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. But them time there was they would start playing records, playing the tune, and then there was an operator in the back, and then a MC or an artist would start sing, and a DJ would start chat, and it was like 4 or 5 people working, and you know, it's like, for me, the impression that left on me, it was like, yeah, this is what I have to do. And it was a roster thing them time there, because it was more the conscious side that we were on. So if you see how Revolution is, you know, if you ever notice how we don't really talk fuckeries when we're clashing. It's not really like, go suck your mama, bati man, and that's not the approach that we ever take. We can outsmart you and beat you, right? We don't have to cuss you or bring your moms into this. So, I mean, everything from that perspective and everything that I had to be in had to be a true reflection of who I am. And as a African descendant that's at service to my community, my sound we had to figure out a way how to make the sound fit or express who we were. And it was no better way than Revolution.
Yeah, man, Revolution is definitely worthy. Name worthy. Wicked. Do you know what it is to have a revolution?
Hear the history of that dope plate. Hear the history. Before we were Revolution, we were BLD Sounds. Let me tell you what that meant. That was me as Damon, my brother Lumumba, and my best friend name was Babu. So Babu, late Damon, and Lumumba. So we was at Superpowers buying some record. Had to be 15, 16 years old in high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Junior Demus walk up to us and say, "Hey, yo, tell us some dub plate, yo." And we're like, "Dub plate? What's dub plates?" He was like, "No, man, come here, man. Come here, man. I need some dub plate." We jumped in a dollar cab, shot down to Dan One, going out the studio. Nicodemus was there, and Dennis Brown was there. Only two artists and Junior Demus who took us there. I probably had $300 that I saved up all summer. And maybe we had between us, we had about $400 or $500. You know, in them time there, $500 was a lot of money to save up to get. So we go in there. So Dennis Brown said, "Yeah, man, you need a tune, man. Take this tune, man." And so we was like, all right. So we, it was our first time voicing dub plate. The man said, "Where your sound name?" And you know, when you write the sound name on the paper with the selectors and everything, he said, BLD. No, man. We're not calling a BLD. Because in time there, we was wearing kente cloth. You wearing the X-Clan t-shirts, the Public Enemy hats. So it was clear that we was revolutionary youth. So Dennis Brown said, "No, man, I got a name for your song." And named the sound Revolution. Voiced the dub plate Revolution. Gave us the next tune Revolution. And Nicodemus gave us two tunes there Revolution.
Wow.
That's how we got that name.
Wow. You get lucky son, man. That's crazy, bro. Like two icons who have transcended into the next life are wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So Revolution actually was born in New York.
Born in Brooklyn. When and as like I said, I went to prison for a little while. And while I was on God's vacation retreat center, that's when my brother, he kind of moved on to other things. Lumumba Bandelli. Big up to Dangerous, Lumumba, my sister Monifa, my sister-in-law.
Big up to the family.
And so when I came home from prison, it was just something that I just picked up and started running with. I moved to DC because that's where my mother was. She was in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, in that area. And being in that area, I was going back and forth, but there was nothing going on in Brooklyn. And my mom was doing what she was doing. So it just was, it was the best decision for me to go to kind of relocate down there. As I relocated down there, I need to go and take in some dance. I came up and built more ballroom and Starlight and Africa House and, them Wishco Manor. That's where I came up and saw. I missed them kind of gully vibes. I deal it. So I linked up with a guy named Teddy Bear in DC who was managing a sound named Emperor.
Big bad Emperor.
Right. Emperor was moving. I mean, Emperor was, and at that time, I knew how to play the sound and I knew music, but I wasn't a selector or MC that could be going out in the party because that's my brother, Babu and Dangerous and Agony. Babu and Lumumba did that. I was just the guy that kind of, I was doing my thing in the street. So, I didn't play that role. So once I moved down to the DC, it was like now I kind of start working on being a selector, moving with Teddy and Emperor. And I linked up with a cat named Butchie B, who got killed. Rest in power, Butchie B. And Butchie B he used to work with a guy named Super Slice. So Butchie B heard the Dennis Brown and the Nicodemus dub plate. And he was like, "Yo, I want to be a part of Revolution Sound." Right. So we were like, I'm like, all right, because I was by myself, just moving to a new city, relocating. I had my Brooklyn roots, and I think it was my Brooklyn roots that kind of opened up the door for me in DC. Because cats seen that I was a street cat, and they heard about the work I put in. So it was like, all right, I kind of got a pass in DC. So working with Teddy Bear, Teddy Bear, he kind of really showed me the business and showed me how this dance hall thing really worked. You know, in New York, the highest we ever got was we played in Biltmore a couple of times with Majestic Sound, which was a Guyanese sound that came from my projects in Jackie Robinson. They were my brethren. So they put us on, Yule and Breezy and Sound them. So they would let us play early and when they kept dances in Biltmore. You know, you had to really work your way up to be able to play at that bashment hour of the dance, the hot time of the dance. So we never really made that in New York, even though we had the relationships. But I told, like I said, I went to prison. My brother and them, they put it down. So in DC, once Teddy kind of gave me, you know, this blueprint and showed me certain things, then it was like, all right, so I got that going on. But in the daytime, I'm traveling the world with Iyanla. So I have both things going on at the same time. And, you know, kind of, I would keep the fact that Iyanla was my mother. Nobody knew that. I didn't advertise it. I didn't talk about it. Unless you was in my immediate circle, then you wouldn't have known. So we moving forward. Butchie gets killed. First murder of 2000. Yeah, 2000. I was in DC not even 6 months, and hooking up with Butchie. He got killed, but before he got killed, he taught me or showed me the fundamentals of being a selector. You know, hey, Bware, this is how you should talk. This is how you should hold the levels. When you talk, turn on the level. Don't turn off the music. This is how you mix songs, and this is how you mix songs if you playing by yourself. At them time, it was still records. So Butchie B, bless his soul, really put me on to that, the fundamentals. And Teddy Bear put me in position. He would always let us play either after Emperor or before Emperor. Whoa. So it was like coming up like that. I was coming up in the biggest dances that was going on in DC at that time. All of the, you know, everybody was coming to DC. Every artist, every big sound, all big clashes was kept there. DC was probably one of the hottest markets in the business at that time. And Teddy Bear was right in the middle of it because he had the #1 sound, Emperor. So that put me right in the middle of it. And then when, you know, time developed, goes on. My family, you know, my youngest brother from New York in Wandu, that's Super. He came down. You know, a couple of my other brethren moved down to New York. So now Revolution family is expanding. I got a couple of partners that I connected with in DC, Langley Park, Lewisdale. Now we really growing. So now our name is kind of, you know, it wasn't so much that these cats from New York, because even though I'm from New York, I represented DC all the time, no matter where I went. I was like, yo, DC, because it was DC that put Revolution on the map in the business. Yeah, now Brooklyn framed us as who we are as people and our mindset, because we're very aggressive, especially in sound clash. But it was Brooklyn that gave birth to us and formed us, but it was DC that pushed us out there and say, yeah, Revolution represents DC. And that's where we learned that. So can't forget DC. Never ever, you know, can't forget my roots. It's like how much Yardman and Trinis and Guyanese live in DC or New York, but you know, they always talk about, yo, I'm a Yardman, me a Banner, me a Trini. So yo, I'm a Brooklynite, I'm a Brooklyn baby, born and raised, Bed-Stuy till I die. Yeah, that's what made me who I am.
Yeah, man, Bed-Stuy, the life is
you see it.
Live from Bedford Stuyvesant, the life is one.
You know, I spend most of my time over there in Bedford Stuyvesant, and I find out, say, even my cousin them that grow here, most of them parents is from Jamaica, you know what I mean? So them go to Boys and Girls High School, and
that's how I went to high school. Yep.
Dudes ain't no joke, man, for real, you know? You Brooklyn dudes ain't no joke, for real, you know? I see that grimy side, I see the loving side, I see all kind of side over there, you know what I mean? So I really appreciate being there, because that's the first way I come when I left Jamaica. You know what I mean?
I would say that growing up in Brooklyn has made me able to travel the world and go all over the world and be good. I'm gonna be all right. And if I got into a tight situation where I had to make it up out of there, I had to make it up out of there. I was in South Africa one time and got into a sticky situation. And I forgot the fact that I was in South Africa. I'm in my Brooklyn state of mind. And I'm in South Africa with Oprah and Iyanla and a couple of other folks. And it was like, oh shit, I'm not in America. But it was that Brooklyn's mindset that was enabled me to navigate through a lot of things in life, man. You know, and even in prison, I was locked up in other states, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida. So imagine anybody that was ever incarcerated, and you a Brooklyn dude, and you locked up out of state. You know how rough that shit was. I'm talking about in the fucking 80s. In the 80s and 90s, I got locked up in 89 and got out in 98. So you know how rough it was for Brooklyn dudes at that time.
Yeah, man.
They wasn't friending us up. They wasn't showing us no love.
That's true.
That was gladiator training. And it was growing up in Brooklyn that made me able to make it through that shit. And my mother praying for me.
Yeah, that worked. That prayer worked.
So like you said, you were doing the sound business and you started to develop a name for yourself in DC, and you know you pay homage to DC. You also pay homage to the late great Dennis Emmanuel Brown, because I him getting them first dub plate and I get them name Revolution. You know.
Hold up. There is a dude on Gates Avenue. Used to name Tony Dread, right? It's like between it's on Gates Avenue between Notion and Marcy. There's a store used to be on that block up there, almost at the corner up there, closer to Marcy. I don't know if you ever, they used to call him the brother Tony Dread.
Tony, everybody know Tony Dread, man.
There was a big shooter around at the back there, around at the back of that.
Yeah, man, correct. I mean,
Little Kim, Mr. Dennis Brown, come, Mr. Super Cat. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of internet. I used to live across the street from there, right? Them buildings across the street.
That's right. And if you go a little further up, down, right there on Gates and Lafayette,
yeah,
that's where Thunderbolt Sound used to live. And Thunderbolt, they used to have the double 18 scoops.
Yeah, because a Jamaican, you know, I said that was a different. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
For real.
So you said you were moonlighting by the time you got. You were traveling the world with moms, but at the same time you were holding it down, killing sound and, you know, doing what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? So at what point did you decide to embark? I mean, because you went on the set as a PA. You got to the point where you became a producer. And your mom's show is like different concept, different approach. You know what I'm saying? So at what point did you start to develop the whole concept for Carib Life?
Wow. I was under a lot of pressure. I mean, let me not use that word, pressure, because that's weak. I was under heavy influences from those around me. Like, okay, the world knows Iyanla. They know what she does and what she stands for and what she represents. But what about you? As her son, what about you? What are you doing? What do you represent? What's your story? What are you doing? And, you know, just having that on my mind, you know, looking for answers, seeking answers, praying, looking for divine guidance and direction, you know, because I can't figure it out. You know, I need the Creator to intercede on my behalf. And one night, a couple of my friends that I brought in on Fix My Life to work with me from the dancehall community, we were all talking, and they was like, yeah, you really need to figure it out. They, you know, they were kind of urging me too. And it just, you know, I know it may sound cliche or hocus pocus or real, you know, I don't want to sound religious because I'm not, but it was some type of divine inspiration that was like, bing, Carib Life ATL. And I just spit it out my mouth. What about Carib Life ATL? And they looked at me and they was like, well, what does that mean? I said, well, Carib is Caribbean. Life is, you know, we'll show our lives and who we are. And right now, since we're in Atlanta, because that's where we filmed Iyanla Fix My Life, let's start in Atlanta and do Carib Life Atlanta. Then we'll move to DC and we'll do New York and we'll do all of the different cities. And then that gave birth to just the overall mission where wherever our people are on earth, why narrow it down to America? We're all over a whole continent, you know, Africa. We're all over South America. We're all over the Caribbean. We're all over, Asia. Matter of fact, we're all over the earth. We're 75% of the population of the earth. So why not let the earth be our focus?
Bro, isn't it one of the most amazing things when that inner voice begins to speak to you and you get beyond your ego and you start to listen to it? That's one of the craziest things ever. When and then when you listen to that voice and you start to put one foot in front of the other, and everything that that voice was telling you starts to manifest.
Manifest.
No, listen, not to take away from what we're talking about, but there's one more of us. There's one more of us. I embarked on a music career at the age of 17. I made positive strides. My talent has taken me all over the world. It's so crazy because this guy right here, who you see sitting here the whole time, not saying a damn word,
Nothing.
is usually the most vocal. When I embarked on that journey 30 years ago, me and him walked into a barber shop, and I was a selector, and I was singing, "Me love me car, me love me bike, me love me money," and cause you're a selector, so you sing the song them where the current, what I say. And I walked into this barber shop, and me and him were the only two Caribbean people in there. And when the American guy that was gonna trim me heard me singing, he was like, "Yo, I want to put you on a record." And before I could even answer, this guy who's not saying anything right now was like, "When you gonna do it?" Bro, I had no concept of bars. I had no concept of what it was to do a song or whatever. And the guys that he were super serious about, what they heard and how they wanted to put me on a record. Serious to the point that he ended up giving them my number, and the next day there was this caravan of vehicles outside of my house, Benzes, Beamers, them kind of people that I drive the Montero, the MCM interior and the wall. So I went to the studio, and luckily nobody there understood what I was saying. So I just took like bits and pieces of like all of these classic reggae songs and like kind of just put my own twist on them. And they chopped it up and it became a song. And when the Jamaican community heard it, they were not as receptive as the guys that I was doing it for were. But that struck a chord in me that said, you know what? If you're not serious about it, then me I go deal with it proper. And I reached to a point where I became the top honoris artist in Philadelphia till my career helped me work with the likes of Sly and Robbie, Mafia and Fluxy, fly all over the world and do music, but I still never got beyond a certain point. Once again, fast forward, much years later, me, the same guy, when I said, all right now, that and a good friend of mine named Sharpman from President Street in Brooklyn as well. We were all standing up under a tree about 5 months ago, and they said, him right sir, they know my name podcast. Them say, "Yeah, we fit do one podcast, my youth."
Hold on. Let me tell a piece of the story. These two guys here have been friends for over 30 years. See it?
Yes.
They're arguing about 30 years worth of things. So I'm the counselor. That's what them call me. So I decide I'm going to intervene. So I tell both of them to shut up. You know what I mean? I'm a friend. Then I can't tell them shut up. I tell them to shut up. And then me and Shartman, they will say, so we need a podcast. And look at it right here. It's what it is.
Yeah.
And we've had Iyanla's son. We've had we've had King Yellowman. We've had Shinehead.
Cutty Ranks.
We've had Cutty Ranks. we are booked out until May.
Ah, look at God working. Look at God working. You know, it's like when you in alignment with your divine assignment, what you need will be you'll be amazed at how that shit unfolds. If I could tell you about the meeting I just had before I came on the phone with you guys, and what's going to unfold and what's going to manifest out of that meeting with another selector brethren. Let me tell you something. Selectors, people may think that we're just some guys behind the turntable playing music. But trust me, man, that experience by being able to move people, being able to entertain people, being able to read people, knowing how to move, what song to play at what time of the night, and it translates in your life in different areas. So here it is, as a selector, that mentality of coming up carrying wires, taking my little money to go to Superpower and buy a record, to go buy, look for the 45 them. You know how tedious that was back in the days. Because as soon as you go to the record store and spend most of your money, when you get ready for leave, that's when the little man behind the counter play all the hot tune where you need. So now you have to, you know that. And then sometimes you couldn't find the 45. You have to get the whole album or the 12-inch tune.
It was by design, bro. Trust
you
me.
know that, man, shit. So that mentality is what translated for me when I'm on the set working. Like, let me be a PA first. Let me work on carrying wires and cameras and things. And then, they see the energy and how I'm interested, how I'm curing, how I'm reliable and dependable and bona fide. Because when we come up, that's the word that man will use. You was bona fide. There was a yes. Bware, bona fide. Come in, Bware. Come work on camera now. Yo, Bware, you want to try to produce a thing? Bware, let me give you your own show now, Bware. So now, of course, they didn't talk like that, but they saw my energy.
But it's so crazy that you said that word, because I haven't heard that word in so many different years.
Yeah, man,
yo, brother. Yo, I'm a link, I'm a dog. I with the word them love for use again. Me
charge it.
Me charge it. You know what I'm saying?
Madonna.
And then he's here charging for like 3 weeks, and then you see him and say, yo, which part, what you charging there? With a pussy, what you talk about? Nobody come ask me. Yeah. The charge done.
But when you use the word bonify, so they say when they give a man that title, it's a different kind of
we
title.
Never loosely,
different kind of thing.
We never loosely use that words back in the day, brother.
Bonify, that mean
because say, when a man was bona fide, that means he's article.
Exactly.
Aye, even that word too.
Exactly.
You have an article, you know what I mean?
Is it?
Yeah, man, the bad selector, you man.
Blessed, salute.
Yeah, man.
That Noah.
I think Trevor's this from Vibes Express, I feel
Okay, yo, Billy, bless up, man. Bad sound Vibes Express, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see what I say. Yeah, man. Don't know me.
Yo, I tell them all the time, they're not the DJ, you guys are entertainers,
Bro.
You're a DJ, so like, what I'm saying, back in the day, them kind of dirty drunk,
brother.
So they're dirty drunk.
Every aspect of
the entertainers, man.
Yo, Bware. Let me explain something to the average individual who doesn't know, who might be on this live. I might be even my friend. Treading every aspect of the music. You see, music is a universal language.
Shit.
Music is what a lot of people don't even know, the driving force behind life itself, because this is music. That's music. When your phone turn on, that's music. Every aspect of life is music. And music channels certain energy. That's why them pay a lot of these rappers for chat fuckery, for preach to the youth them. And if you see what transpire in the street right now, it's fucking life imitating art, brother.
Come on.
And then pay them big money. When you see a youth go out and kill a man, or do him 9 times out of 10, him hear him first, him favorite rapper talk about it in a song.
Yeah, man, bad influence,
You know, it was a thing in Chicago some years ago with the drill rappers where they was rapping about killing each other. They'd be on Instagram or social media, and then they'd go over there and kill. There was some live things on Instagram and social media with some elders getting killed and some young boys getting killed. And it was like, yo, I mean, and then when you look at our community now, right, the condition that they're in, imitating the American community. When you look at, it's so sad because here I go on. I'm learning something else as a television executive, that advertisers do not target our community for their advertising campaigns. And we are the biggest spenders and purchasers of many of their products, more than any other ethnic group in America. And they do not target us. Don't give us no money. Don't give us no sponsorship, no advertising. But yet we brag and boast that we got Gucci and red bottoms. And we brag and boast that we drinking Dom Perignon and Ace of Spades. And we pouring it on people, or the Earth Strong. It's the somebody's Earth Strong. They keep a big dance so they can pour champagne on themselves. And this is what these advertisers are talking about. They said, why should we advertise with you when you're going to give us your money anyway? We're not going to give you, it's the more. So you see our ignorance in following others. And the hip hop community are our babies. They are born from reggae music, from Jamaican people, from Caribbean people. That's where hip hop was born, from Cool Herc. And it's like, to see the position that hip hop has gone, it's like now the child, the father, the parent is following the child to the father's own detriment and downfall. Because our music, our community is not in the position that it should be in worldwide. Hip hop that come after us, look where hip hop is. And look what they're using it to do. See, our music is an uplifting music naturally. It's a music that touches spirit and touches soul. And speaks to our experience of sufferation under oppression, under our wicked enemies. That's where our music come from. But that's not where it is now. It's not influencing and heighten the awareness of our people. It's bringing out the worst in them and the most devilish and fuckery behaviors. The things that they talk about our women. It's amazing. And they're following the hip hop community to their own death. And so it's for people like us and people like yourself to make sure that we're doing our part, to make sure that our people are moving in the right direction. That's what men do. That's what men are born to do.
As small as this platform may be, brother, the journey of a million miles start with the first step, You know what I mean? And one of the things that when we embarked on this, it wasn't about no hype. You know what I mean? It was about changing the narrative.
Yeah, man.
You know what I say? So if we can save one individual, brother, one hint, we've made a difference in the world.
Yes, I. Our part first, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, man. And I just say it there, brother. Yeah, man.
I mean, what's going on with Carib Life right now, the Carib Life media, we're going to be launching our app soon. And again, we have some other really markets that feed our global focus, in the motherland, in the Caribbean. I'm not going to give you guys an insight, but it's definitely coming down the pike very soon. So that we're going to add to the Carib Life franchise. So we'll have Atlanta, we'll have a couple of other cities added to the franchise. And the difference is every city, every community, even though it's Caribbean, we're Caribbean people, we're not monolithic. So every city has its own heartbeat, has its own culture, has its own. Because even in Philadelphia, if you guys ever gone to a dance in Philadelphia, man, some of the best dances. Matter of fact, I won a clash in Philadelphia at the Wednesday night clashes in Philadelphia. We clashed against Super Gold. Them time there, Tony Montana and Dapper Lee was playing the song when we killed them. They was playing Super Gold.
Well, man, Rob P and Salamanic Sound, I think.
Yes. You see the history in Philadelphia on Wednesday night.
I was the MC at that.
You're You see how you see how things come to full circle?
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
You see, I think, that's just God working, man. That's just God working. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Brother, really thank you for your presence on this platform for real, brother. You know what I mean?
No problem, man. It's a pleasure to talk about, to support and to be supported. That's what we're here for. And that's why, what we're doing with Carib Life Media is so important to us, to the entire team. Flair Lindsay, to Tease, Teddy Bear, Latasha, Tracy, the entire cast of Carib Life Atlanta. I mean, how supportive they have been. And I mean, a lot of influences and a lot of relationships have come out of doing this Carib Life Atlanta show. So I mean, I feel truly blessed. I'm looking forward to what's next, to the future. I'm looking forward to the family and the community that's taking this journey along with us and supporting us, such as yourself.
So where are some of the platforms that this can be viewed on, and is it available right now for people who
right now? Actually, okay, it was 8:17. We're actually on the air right now.
Oh wow. Wow.
We're actually on the air right now. And we're aired in 19 different countries.
Oh wow.
Throughout the Caribbean. We're in Canada. We're on the primary cable carrier in Canada. We're in select markets in America. So we're actually in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're in Boston, New York, Jersey, DC, and West Virginia. But then we stream on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire Television also. So any one of those platforms, if you were to tune on any one of them platforms, you put in One Caribbean Television right now, and it will pop right up.
We're definitely gonna check it out.
Carib Life is on Roku, and what else? You said 6:30.
Say again.
You said on Roku, and what else?
Roku, right? Put in One Caribbean, one word, One Caribbean Space Television, Roku, Fire Television, and Apple Television. So any one of those platforms with the device, any one of those platforms with the device. So most time on your television, if you have the little Roku remote, you can be able to pull us right up. Roku television, we're on there.
And the address that they're looking for, you say One Caribbean. Is it the word one or the number one?
The number one, ONE, Caribbean Space Television.
Space Television.
Do you see it?
No, what I'm doing is I'm putting it on the screen for everybody to see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm the only tech savvy one here.
I'm gonna left that one the other one. I'm gonna left that other one.
I think we're currently on episode. We're running. The show did very well the first season, and because it did very well, the network decided to air it again. So we're doing an encore season now. We're on episode 3. Episode 4 airs on Monday night at 9:30. So every Monday night, a new episode airs at 9:30 p.m. And you guys can catch that. And then throughout the rest of the week, they air it. We air Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 8 and 8:30. So the schedule varies. But tonight we're on at 8 o'clock. So we air every day except Wednesday.
Bro, it was a pleasure, having you on the platform. I mean, we touched on some concrete subjects. We reminisced about New York. There was sound vibes. I mean, we big up Flair and the masses, and I let the cat out the bag and told people who your mom was, and you know what I'm saying. So it's been tremendous pleasure, man, and I'm gonna be looking forward to that show. And whenever Carib Life, whenever you do Carib Life PHL, you gotta make sure that we're a part of that. We gotta.
You are part of the cast, no doubt. You have my word and guarantee. As a matter of fact, let's stay connected. As you guys are on your journey, You know, we want to be able to capture that and feature that also on our platforms. And then as you guys, we taking our journey, we'll come and make sure that we check in with you guys and let you know everything that's going on with us. And Revolution. We got some clashes coming up too.
Give
Yeah,
thanks,
man,
give
yeah, man,
thanks,
make we
give
know,
thanks.
man, make we know, man. And you know, just to give people, I'm gonna outro with the trailer again for All right, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
well, the man when I talk while I say something.
The lady there on your cast, she sing Calypso. When you can bring her over to me.
You all right? I'll make sure that happens. That's Annie Love.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, Annie Love. Oh man, Annie Love, that's our star. That's our star, man. And make sure you guys can follow her on Instagram too at Annie Love _. And then make sure you follow us also at Carib Life ATL.
That's
You
how
know,
I did that on the first day, bro. Come on, bro. I tagged you. I tagged you, bro.
you're not hearing from me. And I gotta make sure I say it because Flair killed me if I didn't.
Flair, you want one of the top booking there. Flair is the one that brought us Mr. Easy, brought us Shined, brought us Edley Shine. But yo, come on, man.
We gotta get Flair on the thing one day, you know.
Yeah, Flair have to forward from behind the scenes. You know, see.
Say it.
Big up Flair anyway. You stand up one of the best booking agencies out there, one of the best PR agencies out there, and I think you guys knew each other from school, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, me and Flair, we've known each other over 20 years.
Wow.
More than probably up to 25 years or so. We've been friends. You know, Flair's probably one of my best friends, you know.
Wow.
So it's just, and then we both work in the same industry. So it's like, you know, what a blessing. That's God working again. So is Tease. Me and Tease have been friends for over damn near 20 years.
Wow.
And, you know, she was formerly Miss Maryland, and you know, she grew up. Her son's father is a selector, Johnny Walker. You guys may know Johnny Walker from Matrix Sound. I mean, and so she's been part of the community for the longest time. So she has a passion for it. And as you know, a friend of mine, it was like, the universe put in place everything that we needed and everyone that we needed. And Flair and Tease are definitely two of those pieces for me.
Definitely.
You ever hear about One Fest?
Say again?
One Fest in Atlanta.
Nope. If I heard it, I'm not remembering it. Unless I heard it from something else.
Yeah, they usually it was one of the biggest like hip hop things for one day, but now they having it for like 2 days. It's in Atlanta. They call it One Fest.
Oh, the event.
Yeah.
One
Yes. I've heard of that. You know, and it's interesting that you say that. There's so much going on in Atlanta. Atlanta is popping.
Yes.
I mean, in every industry, production, movies, reality, our community. I mean, dances, show. Spice was just here. Sincere was just here. Jada Kingdom just performed. Dances is keeping. The clubs are popping. And, you know, thank God the numbers are going down. But, you know, Atlanta is really popping. It's really doing, and our community is doing very well here also. And that's why we chose to start with Atlanta.
We need to do a movie, man. We need a movie, man. When you start,
You know that's coming. You know that's coming soon, right?
Yeah,
Reality television is just how we starting. But we're going to be doing movies also. We have a web series in the process of being created called The Ends. And it's about a rum bar, a rum lounge in DC. So anybody that come up in our communities know the significance of rum bars in our communities that's open 24/7. We can go there and get some herbs or go out and gamble, watch the game. They can't get anything at the rum bar.
Only for rum head over there.
and I feel like them like call it sneakies.
It's, you know, the Ends is our version of The Wire. When you guys see that, man, I know you're gonna like it, man.
Right. Well, brother, let me say it was a pleasure, my general. You know what I mean, people. I put up the information on the screen a while ago. Please check out, support this show. You know what I'm saying? You heard it here, and trust me, when it goes skyway, you can always come back and say, yeah, overall settings me hear about it.
Yo, Bware, don't be a stranger, brethren.
Yeah, man, one of the
I'm gonna be listening to you guys, supporting you guys, how you support me also. So look, so when you see me guys, when you see me chatting in the comments, don't cuss me.
Yeah, man, no problem, man.
You is a bonafide right now.
Yeah,
right now, you're a bonafide.
Yeah, you're an honorary setting.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
right now your name, Iyanla son, aka Bware settings.
Bware settings.
I'll take it, man. Bware settings. All right, my work with it. So yo, when you see Bware settings on the flyer, don't be surprised.
No, we're happy for you. We are happy with that. We are going to support that.
If you was an artist, when I met you to a tune for it.
Yeah, man. If you was an artist.
So that's your.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you. It was a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful experience, man. I wish you guys all the best. And I know I'm going to be seeing your name out there, and we're definitely going to stay connected. Thank you very much.
Blessings, brother. More blessings.
Big up Player and the crew for me here. Respect.
Done, every time.
All right,
Bware.